guys, welcome to Didedi's Crafty Corner. Happy Friday. So, I am feeling, well, exhausted, tired, beat up a little bit, but I'm feeling so relieved. It looks like this storm is going to skirt up the west coast of Florida instead of, right on the middle, which would have put us, the eye right over us, and that would have been devastating at a Cat 5, So I'm now feeling like, we're going to have some tropical winds, and that's about it. We know we're going to lose power, but I've got a generator and all that, so I'm okay with that. But I was so frightened, guys, so very frightened of a Cat 5. My house has gone through three Cat 3s. And had some damage, but not, nothing that would take you out of your home, That was my biggest fear, and I'm telling you, I had nervousness like you would not believe over the whole situation. My husband and I prepared the home. We did great, actually. We got everything done, and then, of course, we find out that it's going to move in another direction. I am sending prayers to everyone over on the other coast. It's going to come across as a 4, the Keys, and a 5, and that is a catastrophic storm, guys, catastrophic. So my heart goes out to them, and I am so grateful that it's not us this time. So with that being said, I feel like I can breathe a little bit, and I thought that I would come in and just do a little bit of coloring. I know we're going to lose power tomorrow, so I won't be on tomorrow. And, but I will probably be back on, well, it just depends on when the power comes back on. So I had Didedi stash and sold off my lawn fawn. I had already made one card that I've already sold, but I had some images that I had stamped and cut out that I haven't done yet, so I thought I would color them up and just kind of do just a couple of them with you and chit chat, let you know some of the stuff that has gone on here in the last few days. I kind of wish I hadn't cut these out yet. It'd be easier to color them, but I did, so we'll go with it. If you've never prepared for a hurricane, just let me tell you, it can be so stressful. On top of, the last hurricanes that we went through, I was still working. So you have to work. And in a lot of cases, you're a first responder. You have to go to work. My husband and my husband's job that he does, he has to show up right after the storm. My daughter is a nurse, and she has to show up right after the storm. And the job that I had as well, I had to show up right after a storm. So there's no escaping. You can't evacuate. You can't leave. You're, not only are you, for a lot of people here in Palm Beach County, I've got a very good friend who is a firefighter here, and, not only can't they leave, their heart would never let them leave. So her family is off, in another state right now, and she's going to be reporting for duty first thing in the morning, and that's just the way it is. So but you still have to prepare. You still have to get your house ready, and the preparing part can be so difficult, so difficult. I showed you guys some pictures, but you really, unless the news is showing it where you're at, or unless you live here, you don't know how just how bad it really is. There really are there's green beans on the shelf, but there's no quick food, soups, SpaghettiOs, stuff like that. There's none of that left on the shelf. There's no bread, no charcoal. You have to sit in line. We're so lucky. Our governor really did a great job. He kept the gas coming in. We have gas. We ran out initially, but we had gas. But isn't that super cute? Oh, so cute. I think, though, I need to do a little bit of detail work to it. I normally do that last, but I think maybe we'll go ahead and do it right now. So we were able to get our gas. We have a generator here, so we also had to, you know, purchase gas for our generator, and as well as our vehicles, as well as if we, because I was not sure up until last night actually. I really wasn't sure whether I would be staying or evacuating myself. I knew my husband would have to stay, but I was not in a position where I had to stay, so I was going to be grabbing the grandkids and leaving, and my daughter and her husband would be staying here with my husband because our house, you know, is somewhat safe. Now, I don't believe anybody's house is safe in a Cat 5, you know, but our house was, for the most part, safe. So we went out, we started, you know, not in the beginning of the hurricane season, which I normally do. This year I did not do it. You know, I wanted craft supplies, guys, you know? Spent my money on craft supplies, I guess. So I didn't go out and get hurricane supplies early. And do I want to make this green or brown? I'm wondering. I'm thinking with all the fall, because I might be adding these in with some fall leaves from one of their sets in another stamp set. I have some images that have some leaves on it from one of the Thanksgiving sets that was retired that I held on to. Anyway, so we went out, we got gas, we got all the gas we needed for the generator, we got water, we got canned goods, bread, you know, chicken and rice kind of things for the princess, and wanted to make sure that the kids, you know, grown-ups, we can live on peanut butter and jelly for a week, you know what I'm saying? The kids are a little more picky, and they like what they like, and you want them to be comfortable. And especially when you have a child who gets upset easily, you want them to be comfortable and not stressed. So I went out of my way to make sure that we had the things that they would need. And I'm going to keep that stuff in the corner of the spare bedroom, sitting there. That's what I'm going to do. And my husband and I put the hurricane shutters up ourselves, no problem. So that was done. And then we went back out and got things like extra flashlights and little lanterns for the kids that would be easy for the kids to hold. They're made, I think they were made by, I think the company was a battery company, Duracell or something. But they're just little lanterns, you know, and they have a little handle on them so a child could hold them. And then I got a couple of little flashlights and little handheld fans for the kids as well. So they could, you know, especially Christian, I wanted him to be able to be in charge. He doesn't like to be in the dark, you know, as most kids their age don't, but he really doesn't like to be in the dark. So I wanted to make sure that he had light that he could have on and have the batteries for those lights no matter how long the power is out. During the storms that we had before, our power was out for 3 weeks the first time, and 3.5 weeks the second time. But that was a lot of damage, guys. That one of the storms that went through here, we lost all of our power lines. They were all just, the storm lasted a long time. The wind did its damage, and all the lines were like just sitting on the ground, and they all had to be redone, and we were just out of power for so long. And during that time, you know, we were running on generators to keep our food. We did run out of food, and we had to go all the way to Miami Beach to find food. And the kids would have to keep the generators going by themselves while, you know, my husband and I went to work. And they were young then, you know, because if the generator wasn't going, they had no fans. We have our generator where it'll run our ceiling fans, keep our refrigerator cold, and let me run the washing machine to hang the clothes out on the line, you know, which is an awesome thing. I'm going to need a blender, which I don't have out. So yeah, I was expecting the worst, but it looks like we're not going to have the worst, and I'm so thankful for that, especially being a 5. Oh, I was so worried. I don't know if you guys picked up on it or not, but I'm telling you, I was worried. I'm not actually real happy with the way this one turned out. Let's darken it up around the edges. Alright, I like that, okay. I can always go in with a lighter yellow too and lighten it up. YR14, maybe we'll use a Y18. I'm thinking, maybe. And just give it a little bit of yellow glow around the face. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So we got our pumpkins done. Let's see, what do I want to do next? I think I'll work on the little mummy. So yeah, so today I did all the housework. My daughter and husband and the kids were coming tonight to spend the night, so I had to get the guest room ready for them. And I've got a trundle bed that I could take the trundle out and keep it low to the ground so that Nugget won't fall out of bed. Plus I've got the crib for the Christina, and I got all that set up in the room. I did a complete overhaul on the entire house, sterilizing, cleaning everything, because if you don't know, if you've ever been in a storm where your power's out for 3 weeks, your house gets nasty. It gets nasty quick, and all the smells and all the dirt, and especially if you've had debris or damages where you're going in and out during the storm to try to pick up. We had house damage during one of the storms. Is this 11? Yeah. We had house damages during one of the storms, and we actually had to go outside and tie part of our house down. It already blew off of the house. We had to go tie it down with rope and stuff, tie it to trees and stuff so it wouldn't do any more damage to anyone else's property, you know. That storm, we lost our entire patio, our entire laundry room, and we lost a vehicle in that particular storm. So yeah, I'm a little fearful of what those storms can do. Let's see, I think we're gonna do him. I just saw a review. Oop, I might have done that too dark. I just saw a review this morning. I think it was from Crash Test Dummies. I'm not 100% sure. They were reviewing a new marker that's sold by Doris, an alcohol marker set, and it looked kind of interesting, so I might check into that to do a review on. So yeah, so that's how my day went today. I spent the entire day cleaning. Not just cleaning, I didn't just clean. I sterilized and cleaned. I mean, I did every nook and cranny, everything. Because, once you lose your power, you just... And, I was thinking about that because I didn't watch the TV today until just a few hours ago to really see what was going on. And I'm like, why am I doing this if the roof is just going to fly off my house? But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. But I did have my emergency bags packed so I could find the important things that I needed, and they were all in waterproof packaging, so we did really good. And now I think I'm just going to leave everything that way. I also... Yes, girls, you knew I was going to, I'm sure. Packed up a lot of things in my craft room and put them in plastic and sealed airtight containers because, I don't want to lose some of my stuff. So, I have a person that I watch on YouTube that was really damaged in the Houston, their house flooded, and I think I messed that up a little bit. They're a crafter as well, and everything, lost everything. Now granted, the stamp sets, you can, you know, dry them out. The dies you can dry out, and some of her dies were already, don't know where they were made, but some of her dies are already starting to rust, and from all the water. So that's a little bit frightening as well. But she had all of the cards she'd ever made, and, you know, all of her paper pads. And you think about that. First of all, how many of you have even bothered to, in your insurance, your homeowner's insurance, or the insurance that you have, or flood insurance, how many of you have really sat down and calculated, you know, how much your stuff is worth in your craft room? You know, I mean, I look at my Copic collection and my paper pads and my images and my stamps and my dies and my machines, and, you know, we're talking about a lot of money, a lot of money. And I went around taking pictures and documenting everything, but, you know, I have not ever added all this stuff to my insurance. So I think that's food for thought right there as well. I think that we should really be adding, you know, this stuff to our insurance policies, because we have a lot of stuff as crafters, and those paper pads, they add up. I've got a ton of paper pads, and that's something, if you flood, that's gone, right? I wouldn't have thought the dies would rust out, but I guess, you know, if you can't get them dried out for a few days, I guess it really depends on, you know, where they're made. I don't know. I was a little bit surprised by that. I have to be honest. But then again, you know, pennies rust in water. Nothing lasts in water for long. The stamps would wear down too, I'm sure. At least in my mind, I thought they would. That's why I wanted to get that destash done so fast. I'm like, what if, you know? All right, I like that better. He looks a little weathered now. Good. Speaking of weather, he looks a little grunged up. All right, I like that. All right, what are we going to do about this witch? I thought I might make, you know, classic purple. I want to start with that color. I know I'm going to do her little hat purple. The rim of the hat, the little band. So my husband's taking a nap right now. He fell asleep. I made a lasagna for dinner yesterday, and we had that. We didn't actually eat, well, I didn't actually eat breakfast at all today, and then I didn't have lunch, and then around 4 o'clock I heated up a piece of that lasagna. But he had breakfast this morning, but then he didn't have lunch, so he was feeling a little, you know, a little hungry and a little tired, and he just kind of fell asleep after he ate. Let's see, I'm using Nina cardstock for this, and you can see how my paper, the ink is kind of running. I don't have that problem when I use my Spectrum Noir or my Copic paper. Good thing I'm going to be making this dark, because we got a lot of running going on here. Alright guys, I just looked at the clock and it looks like it is been 20 minutes, so I need to get off of here because I'm not even sure what the upload speed is. And I just realized I don't have my black markers, my dark gray markers out, so I don't really have everything I need to do this. I just wanted to come on and chat with you guys and just say thank you all so much for the well wishes, and I'm going to go ahead and color these up and get a couple of cards made with them, and I will show them to you in the next video. I love you guys. Thank you so very much for all the prayers and thoughts, and please continue those for the people over on the West Coast, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.